Hello guys and welcome. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ashley and this is your Aquarius energies for July, or Aquarian energies for July, in your spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional path. For those of you who haven't seen me before, I'm a spiritual intuitive, so I will both read the cards by the book and intuitively, depending on what spirit wants me to do. And whatever comes out, guys. I can't control it. I do want to say that I've been kind of going back and forth whether I still want to do these. I want to continue to do these monthly energies for you guys. But if this spread is not working for you, if you just want something different or if you want something more, let me know down in the comments. I'm very, I don't know, I like to shake things up a bit, so I always am thinking about ways to kind of do things differently or to improve on what's going on with the things I do. So if you guys want to see a different spread, let me know down in the comments starting in August, and Spirit and I will collaborate with a new spread. As well as if you want a romantic spread in this kind of same vein of your zodiac energies for the month. Let me know, and then Spirit and I will collaborate on that as well. Also, guys, if you guys want more of me, I do daily videos, weekly videos, and monthly videos, as well as a bunch of relationship videos on my Patreon channel. So I split them up between divine feminine and divine masculine energies, and it's a lot of them are more in-depth looks. So we go for the daily energies, weekly energies. I do like a chakra clearing energy that goes very in-depth in what to do with clearing up your chakra. I do like a 3D energy spread that goes into a few different facets of your 3D world. I also do like a bigger spread of this, more in depth, and then for those of you, and then I do an empowerment spread for what you can do to empower yourself in the month. For those of you who want that personal empowerment and that personal healing and that personal spiritual path. And I have a lot of romantic and like divine union spreads for those of you who are in connection or not in connection with your partner, with your soul partner. So I have a bit for everybody on my Patreon channel. The information to join is down below, so seek me out there if you want more of me. But for those of you who want to know, before we get into the spread, I'm using the Everyday Mini Tarot deck, the Conscious Spirit Oracle from Kim Dreyer for one of your guidance cards, the Moonology cards as another one of your guidance cards from Yasmin Boland, and then I have the Wild Unknown Tarot for your overall energies and a possible outcome from Kim Kranz. So if you guys like the decks, there's those. Let's get into your energies for July. For your overall energy, we have the Empress. We have this beautiful Empress tree. This doesn't mean, if there's any divine masculines watching or any males watching, it doesn't mean that you have to be a woman to watch this spread. It just means that you're in your Empress energy, which is that new beginnings. It's that highest divine power. You could be realigning your divine feminine self. We all have divine feminine, divine masculine within us. And it also means that you're just standing up very much in your power, in your divine power here in the month of July. I'm not surprised. July is a 7-month, therefore it's a very spiritual month for many of us, if not all of us. So Spirit is saying that this is a very firm, solid foundation to start off from, and especially they're saying that it's important for you guys to get as grounded as possible for this month, and to be in this energy instead of, because Aquarians, you can be a little flighty being air signs, but they're saying to be grounded, because of what's coming up for you guys. Like, my feet are tingling, like a lot, for what's coming up for you guys. They're not really telling me if you guys are having a good or bad month. They're saying that the spread is going to let you know. Yeah, sometimes my guides, if any of you haven't seen me before, my guides are very sarcastic and they're very funny, but so they're just like, yep, you'll get into it, don't worry. So let's get into your spread. We have, in your spiritual path this month, we have the World. This is making your dreams manifest. This is having everything that you have wished for, everything that you have desired. I'm getting that very much like, my spirit wants to pull out from my body right now. So when I do these spreads, I delve into your guys' energy. And I bypass my own personal energy to delve into your guys's. And I'm getting very like, my soul is having I feel like it's that shadow of Peter Pan, that it's trying desperately to like stick to my body and to be grounded into myself, into the 3D plane, but very much it's losing that struggle. You guys are gonna feel very astral this month. You guys are gonna be fighting with being in the 3D this month because of the spirit is saying is because of this card, because your dreams are coming to manifestation, and it's just exciting you to the point of your spirit detaching from the 3D world. This is something that actually happens with trauma. Sometimes when we go through pain and trauma, we detach ourselves from the 3D world and we get into the etheric and the astral, and it's hard for us to come back down. My throat chakra is also really like stopped up. So it's going to be hard for you to explain this to other people. It's going to be hard for you to talk about this feeling. But this is happening to you guys for a good reason. So please don't have a lot of fear when it comes to that. They're saying just ground. Go out in nature, get out in nature as much as you can. If you're walking, or if you can just get out in a patch of grass that is near your apartment building or near your work site or something, and just put your feet, like your bare feet, into grass. It's going to be extremely beneficial for you. For those of you who can pick up rocks around parks, if you're not around nature, like if you live in a place that doesn't have a lot of nature, if you're around parks and you can pick up rocks in enough, over a few trips, that you can like do a little like square or rectangle just to put your feet in. They're showing me to make a little like water sealed box, or getting like a plastic container where you can put water in, and then put the rocks in and put your feet in, just so the bottom of your feet can, it can just go over the bottom of your feet, like with the arches of your feet, so that you can connect to nature, even if you're not able to get grass or get nature in any other way. Even they're saying even some, like, if you can get some sand from a beach or some dirt to put in there instead of water, that will help too. But get extremely grounded this month, because you're gonna feel like all this stuff is coming in and it's gonna be too good to be true, and you're gonna have that detached feeling. And again, it's a good feeling. It's coming from a good place, guys, but it's working in the 3D world when your soul is so far above you and so far out of you is extremely difficult. It's difficult for you to go through your day to day, and you're going to have, they're saying you're going to have a bit of difficult physical symptoms if you don't, if you're constantly in that flightiness. They're talking to me about like reaction times as well, and they're showing me dangerous situations that you can get into when your mind is just, your soul is not working with your mind, your heart chakra is not working with your mind, because your heart chakra is connected to your soul. And if it's up in the astral and up in the hidden realms, if it's up in outside of 3D and you're trying to work in 3D, you can get into serious situations like, you know, when you're cooking a meal, you can accidentally cut yourself really bad, or if you're driving, you can get into an accident. So this is a very, very fantastic energy to come into, but you need to stay very, very grounded with it, dear Aquarians. You really need to be grounded this month and do as much as possible as you can. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I feel a bit of fear coming up for you guys. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just trying to prepare you. Spirit is trying to prepare you for the energies that are coming in, because we're not, you know, Spirit's not trying to get you to be heavy and dense and out of those etheric realms. You're meant to be in there. But when it comes to situations that are for your safety, especially, guys, this is just something to be aware of and to ground yourself. Even if you grab some crystals before you walk out the door into your car and put them in your pockets, or have a necklace, or that sort of thing, like keep them on you. Us divine feminines, like we can even like shove them in our bra. Like it's just one of those things that happen with women, is like we end up eventually in our lives, everybody ends up shoving something in their bra when they don't have pockets. So it's just one of those things. But it'll help ground you. Look up stones and crystals that'll help ground you and keep them with you at all times. They're saying also, be wary with like water is something that cleanses us. It's something that calms us down, but they're saying be wary of too much water exposure in the month of July, like pools, lakes, that sort of stuff. It basically like will take away any grounded feeling. It'll take away any groundedness that you've tried to do if you're too much in water. So give yourself a time frame when it comes to like pools and lakes as well as showers. They're showing me showers. Like don't spend a long time in showers if you can't help it. It might be very calming for you and part of your ritual, but at least for the month of July, Aquarians, be very cautious of that. If you feel yourself, if you feel that you know, sense of yourself leaving the 3D, leaving your body, it's time to cut the ritual short and get back into 3D. Your struggles this month are going to be the Four of Pentacles. So not only are you going to struggle with staying in the 3D, but they're saying you're going to struggle a bit with finances. A lot of the things that are coming in for you are very, with this World card, they're saying are very esoteric, which is why you're being pulled out of 3D. And they're saying that it's not necessarily like your finances that are going to be cut short to the point of like lack, but you're going to be having a bit of struggle with that physical foundation. Pentacles are physical, so some of you, I feel a few of you are going to have financial issues, but majority of you is just you're going to have issues with holding on to physicality and holding on to that that 3D world. And for some of you, being so flighty, being so out of body this month, that's where your financial issues will come in. Again, physically, you'll have the symptoms of not being fully connected in 3D. And a lot of it's going to be like brain fog. A lot of it's going to be like not being able to balance, not being able to communicate fully through your throat chakra. they're saying a lot of like pain from your high heart chakra that deals with our love, the love we give out and the love we receive from other people. And a lot of you are going to have issues with realities shifting as well, and this can bring on migraines. This can bring on vertigo, especially for you guys who are having a lot of trouble grounding. Vertigo is going to be a big thing. But yeah, and that's where that money sector comes in. But for the majority of you, it's just going to be, you're going to have a huge struggle with that 3D foundation, that physicality foundation. So stay grounded as much as possible, stay in body as much as possible. These amazing things are coming in for you. I see a lot of creativity. I see a lot of like spiritual practices. I see a lot of like health, like physical health in for those of you who already were physically healthy before or coming into more physical health here in July. But all of this is tied to spirituality, and it's getting you guys like a million times more flighty than or not flighty in a bad way, but like your soul is million more times airy than it has been before. So please be cautious of this, guys. In the physical sector, you are the Magician. Again, not surprised to see this because you're bringing in those energies of the world, which are, these are your dreams made manifest. I feel like a lot of you have had a few projects in the works and you've kind of like either been very slow about them, or you've been very secret about them, not in a bad way, but like in a good way. You just have like you haven't talked about them because you've wanted to make them manifest, and they just haven't been there yet. I feel like a lot of this is going to get a big push in July. So either they will start, you know, that new beginning will start, you being the Empress, or they'll be way more successful here in July. And you being the Magician, you will be like the commander at the helm, with that Empress energy of new beginnings, of gentleness, of standing in your divine power. I feel like Spirit is saying that majority of you, in the long run, they're saying 60% of you or more in the long run are going to be successful, so keep at it. But a majority of you are going to get a big push here in July, to further them along, or to start them, or to have those that you already have started in the last few months, or since the beginning of the year, is what they're saying, to be more successful. So very beautiful energies coming in, but again, it's gonna feel like fantasy. It's gonna feel like it's too good to be true, and it's going to take you into that more creative, visionary realms, the more creative, visionary energies, and make you feel like you're a bit, you know, in the imaginary, in your dreams, and a lot less grounded. So definitely ground. That is the theme of this month, guys. For your struggles, we have the Two of Wands. This is a card of choices. This is also a card of collaborating. Sometimes this is a card of collaborating with somebody else, and sometimes this is a card of between two choices. Spirit's saying it's about 60-40. So let me see which one's 60. Okay, so about 60% of you will have those two choices, and about 40% of you will be collaborating with somebody else, or somebody else new is going to come in and collaborate with you on these projects. But for the other ones of you, they're saying about 80% of you are going to choose whether you're going to continue with this project or not. And that's where your struggle's coming in. So for those of you who are choosing between two choices that are if you're going to continue or not, Spirit is saying to continue. Again, you have free choice. You don't have to continue if it's something that's not going to, if it's something that's more of a struggle and something that is not going to light you up. That is completely fine. You have the freedom to drop the project. But sometimes we struggle with things, especially when we start with things, start with new things, or when they're in the planning phase. We have those struggles for a reason. Those struggles are part of our journey. And Spirit is saying, for those of you who have that decision, you'll be extremely successful if you choose to continue with this. But you know, you're going to struggle with it for now. You're going to get a bit more momentum when it comes to this month. They're showing me the end of the month a lot. So a lot of you, it might not start building momentum or success until like the 3rd or 4th week in July. For those of you who choose not to continue on to these projects that are lighting you up because of these struggles, don't worry. Spirit says that you will have opportunities in the future, whether it's in the next few months or the next few years, to somebody's walking on my street, so the dogs are barking. I'm sorry guys, I live in a neighborhood, so it happens at any time of night. Even when I do videos at 2 a.m. in the morning, we have noise. But Spirit is saying, for those of you who choose not to continue with it right now, that's perfectly okay. This is something that, like, don't ever fear like it's an all or nothing thing. This is something you can pick up in the next few months to the next few years and go at it again. Spirit is very much saying that this journey that you are on is a journey that you're meant to be on, and struggles are a part of that, but your end result is a gift from the universe, and gifts from the universe never stop coming. They just it's like a conveyor belt, and sometimes the conveyor belt's going pretty fast, so sometimes we have the knowledge and wisdom and fortitude to grab these gifts when we can, and sometimes we are just not paying attention, or we're in that mental mind of, oh, this is a struggle, or we're concerned with other people instead of our own path, and we miss it when it goes around the conveyor belt. But the conveyor belt's going to bring it back, so don't worry about it being gone forever if it's something that you need to put down right now. Spirit is showing me people that are a bit exhausted about how it's just not coming to fruition, or it's not paying off, and how these things are just, they feel like these things are not working out for them. Again, sometimes we're not meant to know the end result or the timing of the end result, but that struggle is a part of our journey. So for either choice that you choose, you'll be successful no matter what. So either you'll get back on your own journey, you'll have that rest and relaxation, and you can pick up that that project in a few months or a few years, or you will continue on the path, go through the struggles, and get to that end result here pretty quick. And they're saying a lot of you are gonna come to fruition for those of you who are choosing to continue on your projects to success and to the start of the things that you want by the end of the year. I don't know exact dates, but they're saying that they're giving me these specific time frames. So those are just the energies of it, guys. But a lot of that has to deal with, they're saying those of you who are wanting more rest and relaxation and feeling a great amount of struggle, it's because of the fact that you're not giving yourself that compassion and care, you're not being grounded, and you're not seeing the end result, but you're not also meant to. Right now, you're meant to be on a certain step of your journey and not be at the end of it. So remember, we all have these steps in our journeys, and it's not always like I start today, I go through it tomorrow, I end the next day. Sometimes our journeys are however long they're meant to be, whether they're decades or whether they're weeks, months, years, or decades. That's just how that's our divine blueprint. We all have free will, though. We all have free will to decide that we're going to let that pass us on the conveyor belt and catch it when it comes the next time around. Guidance for your Spiritual and mental sector is going to be beautiful card. It says you're not the only one that this came in for, but I'm really glad to see this, especially with all the stuff we just talked about. It says new moon in Taurus, and it's prosperity lies ahead. It's just confirming to you guys. So for those of you who want to trust in your higher self and want to trust in the divine plan, Spirit is saying that's fantastic. For those of you who want to rest and relax and pick this up again, Spirit is also saying that that's fantastic, because it's going to be what is meant for you and what is the best for you. And all Spirit wants is for you to make the best decisions for yourself on your journey. And whether that's pushing through or resting and picking it up later, that is completely up to you. Both choices. Don't get into the struggle of I have to choose one or the other. Both choices are extremely valid, and both choices are right for you. Just decide which one you want to do. Moving on to your emotional sector, your emotional path, we have the Two of Pentacles. So this is very much, this card is signifies a lot of things by the book, and through it's come to be like a very much like a card of two choices, a card of two people, a card of like balancing your divine masculine, divine feminine. They're saying for you, this is a balance in physicality. So again, emotional. Remember that when we're flighty, when we're in that area, when we're in that esoteric and those hidden realms, and we're not here in physicality, our emotions can be rocky. Either very, 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 very high or very, very low. And also like they're talking about like you can also be subject to a lot of indecision. You can be subject to a lot of like not connecting with your emotional body, not connecting with your energies, your energetic body, not connecting with the things in life that you're meant to connect with to keep yourself in balance, especially emotionally. For us to walk a spiritual path, for us to walk our inner path, to take care of our shadows, to take care of our inner child, to be in a state of homeostasis and health, mind, body, soul, and emotional. Emotionally, we need to be in balance and be grounded. And that's not going to happen if you can't balance that within yourself. So always be aware of your emotions here in July, so that these emotions don't get out of balance so much that they overtake you. Especially they're showing me like they're especially showing me like sometimes you can get into those high highs, but they're showing me a lot of people who because they're not connected to their emotional or energetic bodies, they're running so much energy through themselves, or you guys are running so much energy through yourselves, and you're not catching these warning signs, and it's sliding you into a big depression because you're not resting and relaxing, because you don't know you need to rest and relax. You're not connected with yourself enough to know it, and it's basically it's gonna come in like a steamroller, with sickness, with physical injuries, with those like debilitating migraines and vertigo, and it's going to lay you up in the hospital. For some of you, for very, very few of you, it will end up in the hospital. For others of you, it'll be days off work. So again, like it's just this balancing act of being grounded and being in your power while not letting those being in the astral, being in the etheric overwhelm you, especially when it comes to you checking in with yourself. Make sure that you set a timer on your phone. I'm seeing some of you have like that have like the Apple Watch or like the Samsung watches or the Android watches. Set a timer for every 2 hours and make sure you check with yourself. Am I grounded? What are my emotions? How is my energy? What can I do to rest and relax? Whether it's active meditation, guided meditation, or still meditation, get into meditation to help yourself out. Eat good, nutritious food this month. Don't get into the, flightiness of, sitting in those astral ideas where you just run, you end up with no time, and you have to like go to the convenience store, get something from the vending machine or something from a fast food place. So eat good food, get crystals that not only ground you but balance you out. Make sure that you're checking in with your chakras. Listen to music. Listen to frequency music, meditation music, that keeps you grounded and keeps you clear, and helps you, even guided meditations. There's many guided meditations out there that will help you check in with all of your bodies. So make sure that you have that good balance going on this month, so all of this success that is meant to come in for you this month so you can ground it into physicality, and you're not destroying yourself physically to bring this stuff in. Struggles in your emotional sector, another balance card. So again, everything that I just said times two, times everything. Spirit definitely wants you guys to balance. Especially to communicate, to communicate your desires, communicate the way you want your projects to go, the way you want your businesses to go. That's going to take a lot of like good communication. And I have issues with communicating generally when it comes to big energies, because that's how I channel, like first and foremost is through emotions, thoughts and visions, and my hearing things through speech is like the last area that I bring information in. So sometimes bringing those visions, thoughts, and emotions through into speech, like I fail at it, but I feel like I'm failing at it like 1,000 times more because of the fact that you have that blocked throat chakra. So drink some good teas, eat good food, do a lot of heart chakra, like they're even saying Reiki, do a lot of heart chakra frequency, throat chakra frequency, heart chakra as well, to stay more in the body. But take care of yourself energetically, your energetic body, your soul body, your emotional body, your mental body, and your physical body this month, and it'll help you be more grounded and be more in the 3D, so you can make these things manifest. Like in the 3D, you can cement them and anchor them in the 3D. That's the word I've been trying to find this whole reading. You can anchor them in the 3D, and then you can get across what you want for these projects, instead of like having issues where you're like, I'm just failing at explaining what I'm trying to say. They're also saying like, prepare yourself, practice, don't get into those situations where you're running around being late everywhere. Like, be more mindful, set yourself up with a bunch of reminders, a bunch of alarms, do what you can to keep yourself in the 3D here this month, and in balance in the 3D this month. For your mental sector, we have the 8 of Swords. So again, guys, remember that when we're out of balance with ourselves, and we're not grounded, and we're running energies through our bodies that we can't regulate, because we just are not connected, we can end up in a more 8 of Swords situation where we feel, for one, the ego can take over, and for two, especially when like our soul is so in the astral, that is a wide open door for the ego to come in. But for two, we can feel like we're constrained here in the mental sector. We can feel like, oh my God, I have all these good things coming in, but why are things not working out for me? Why am I always late? Why am I getting sick? Why don't I have any energy? Why are these things just like, I have such good good things working out for me this month. I have good things coming in, but I feel like I'm failing every single time I walk away from every situation I'm in. It's because of that balance of being grounded and keeping your soul out of the astral and out of those divine planes. It's okay to go in them when you're meant to go in them, but when like I really feel like it's it's being pulled, and it's being pulled because of good things, but I really feel like instead of my soul like being in my body, it's like that Peter Pan shadow, and it's not even in my body, it's just like trying to hold my shoulders so that it's not floating, like its feet are up in the air and it's just trying to hold like on at my shoulders, not to like separate completely from my body. So mentally, like, Spirit is saying you're going to have a few roadblocks if you are not conscious of these things, which is why we're here talking about them. So again, the Eight of Swords is a card of, you know, she's very loosely bound, she's very loosely like blindfolded, and she has a choice to turn around and like let her binds fall away and take off her blindfold and use those 8 swords as clarity instead of something as a burden and something that's tying her back. So be mindful of yourself this month in all of your bodies, energetically, or in your soul body, your emotional body, your mental body, and your physical body, especially your energies this month, because if you're not, that's where you end up with being sick, with getting in, for a few of you, in the hospital. And I'm seeing again this being at the end of the month when all these successful things are coming in for you. You're not going to be there to, or you're not going to have the energy to accept them in the gratitude and love and light and enjoyment that you're meant to. So definitely, for sure, guys, be very mindful of yourself this month. And then your struggle for the mental sector is judgment. And I feel like a lot of you are a little fearful of this, but judgment is a beautiful card. It's also a card of balance, so like balancing your heart against, I very much see when judgment comes in, what is it, Osiris, and like Anubis walking you into the underworld, and Osiris putting that feather on the scales and your heart on the other side. And this is very much, you know, judging your heart on the scale of, I can't remember what the scale is called, and I'm in your guys' energy, so I'm not in the mind space to remember it right now. But he's judging your heart against that feather. And you guys are Aquarians are very airy. You're very air signs. Your heart is lighter than that feather. So you're going to pass that test, but I feel like a lot of you are afraid that you won't. And you're having a lot of those fears because you are not connected to yourself this month. Be connected to yourself. Be connected to physicality. Make sure you check yourself. Make sure that you keep yourself balanced in all of your bodies and balanced and grounded into Gaia to help you with that. You have guides, you have ancestors, you have archangels, you have ascended masters, you have everybody who is here to help you with that, so you are not alone when it comes to that struggle. But guys, remember, crystals, bringing stones into your bringing stones and or dirt and or sand into your places if you don't have parks around you. Being in nature as much as possible, like get your feet into nature, get yourself grounded. They're saying work on your sacral chakra as well, so you can stand in these great power and these great energies as long as you're willing to be very mindful of yourself, where you're at, and be grounded. So don't fear judgment. You will pass with flying colors, but you need to be mindful of yourself. That balance is definitely karma, but it's also, you know, the karma that we have for ourselves. So sometimes we forget when we're in our life that it's not just this balance, this judgment is not only the karma that we with our dealings with other people, it's with ourselves too. And if we treat ourselves shitty, we ignore ourselves, then you know, Spirit's gonna come back and be like, why did you help out everybody else but not yourself? It's about filling your cup, and your cup means you being mindful of yourself this month. guidance for your emotional and mental path is, I love this one. It's solar plexus chakra, guys. So solar plexus chakra is being that leader for yourself in life. Focus on the color of yellow is what they're saying. Focus on your getting your your solar plexus chakra cleared and as healthy as possible this month. And it says, I take actions daily to awaken my personal power. Guys, you've been in this for a while. You will continue to be in this, but it's not, their spirit is saying it's not just about awakening your power anymore. It's about taking care of yourself while you're in that power. Self-care is imminent. Like, I literally, guys, I went through a huge 6-day clearing and challenges and meditations to further my path at like the beginning, like the middle of May, to further myself, to further my path personally. And I did it because Spirit came in and said, you can't deny your self-care anymore. It has to be the foundation of your journey to walk into everything that you are meant to walk into. And they're reminding me of that now, because it's the same for you, Aquarians. If you do not put your self-care first, everything that you're trying to manifest, being this magician and bringing in the world all of your desires and your wishes and being the Empress, it's not going to work out for you if you don't have that solid foundation. Everything that you're going to do, Aquarians, are foundationally gonna be about you having self-care, self-worth, and self-love. And if you can't give yourself that stuff when things are just starting or just starting to get successful, how are you going to bring those things in for yourself when things blow up in your favor even more? And this is, they're saying that this is what this astral, this pulling your soul out is coming from, because you're not taking care of yourself. You were meant to be prosperous. You're meant to have all of these things. You're meant to have this great explosion in your life. But it is never going to be a balanced thing if you don't balance yourself first. Self-care, self-love, self-worth. The more I get into those self-care, self-love, self-worth, the more I feel like your souls are getting back into your 3D body and connecting back with it, instead of being pulled like somebody vacuuming up your soul into the astral. So I feel like you guys are going to be very successful with this, and any of that flightiness, any of that confusion will leave when you put your self-care first. For the first time in this reading, guys, I feel very much like one, instead of having a part of me being pulled off somewhere else. So I know you can do this. I know you can be successful, guys. So beautiful energies for you guys coming in. Possible outcome for July. Ooh, I love this card. Okay, so we have the 8 of Swords here again. We have the 8 of Swords here again. So again, guys, remember, 1, 2, 3, yep. Remember that this is a card. I love the imagery on these cards because they're very intuitive as well as by the book. But you don't have to look at this as I'm struggling, I'm suffering, this is so overwhelming. You can turn around and cut these bonds off and be like, you know what, this is a really good lesson for me. This self-care is something that I need to put in as my foundation. They're showing me like pillars of a room, of a square room, like, and one pillar lighting up, and it's self-care, self-love, and self-worth. Make that a pillar of your foundation of the house you build from here on out. And beautiful picture that sometimes we need to be in that cocoon phase and take care of ourselves and do for ourselves to become that beautiful butterfly, guys. So beautiful energies this month coming in for you. Beautiful messages from Divine. I'm really seeing a lot of success for you guys, and I'm seeing a lot of success. Like, I wouldn't be feeling you guys being successful integrating your soul back into yourself in a very healthy, grounded way if you guys weren't able to do it. So beautiful, beautiful energies coming in. And remember, you can definitely 100%, you can get there. And for those of you who choose to let it go for a while, to integrate that self-care and that self-worth and self-love into yourself, that's going to be even more fantastic for you guys. So the choice is yours. Neither choice is wrong, guys. Have a beautiful July. And those of you who wish, please comment below on if you like this spread or if you want a new one for August, as well as if you want like a romantic connection spread per your zodiac sign. And again, remember, if you want to see more of me, please find me here on Patreon, or find me below on Patreon. Have a good July, guys. Bye.